Now, let me, DJ, maybe you can mention on these two guys, because I'll shift over to getting back to Trey Yesevich and Jonathan Santucci. Two presumptive first rounders. They have some injuries. I mean, Yesevich was a bit different, but how do you consider that as a scouting director? Like, hey, this guy came back, we like it. Now he's back high. Or do they kind of sift down to like, yeah, we probably evaluated as a top 10 pick, but those injuries are now he's shifting into that 14 to 20. Is that something that you lose sight of?
Well, I talked about that in one of our previous discussions about the medical side. At this point, you don't have the medical. You're still waiting for that stuff to come on. And MLB has done a pretty good job of cleaning that up, certainly since when Seif started scouting and I started scouting, where there was a ton of guesswork. Now you do end up getting access to some good information on these players. So if you have questions, that's ultimately, but in real time, when you're watching them at a conference tournament or you're watching them at a regional or a super regional, all you can do as a scout is pay attention to the signals. And for, you're sitting in the ballpark and what pitch, is there any difference in his pitch package? Is his command going south? There's all those different types of signals you can pay attention to, but that's all you can do. As far as moving him up and down the board, if it really is a medical consideration, it's going to have to happen later on after the conference term, unless he's showing you something that's obvious. He walks off the mound holding his arm or a leg or whatever it might be. So not too much.
Safe, where do you have those guys? Where are they going? Today, Yesevich, Santucci, where are these guys going?
Yesevich goes in the top half of the first round. I think Santucci is probably, he only threw 2 innings and it was a good 2 innings. He still walked 2 guys in 2 innings, and his thing is health and command, right? Those are his 2 weaknesses. Everything else, athlete, fastball, breaking ball. He answers all the other bells. It's just command and health. So if he can pitch again in the Super Regional and the Who's make it to the World Series, even better for him. Or not the Who's. I'm sorry, the Blue Devils.
He's with
ACC schools mixed up. We're talking here.
DJ, let me ask you that. Is that a kid you'd want to see? Like, is that a kid who's going to go off and play this summer? Does he need to go pitch more?
Say that again. I missed the name. He cut out on me.
Santucci. Does he need to go pitch more?
Well, yeah. If he's been shut down, you certainly would like to. It's no different than the Carson Wisenhunt situation. Okay. I know Carson wasn't hurt. Who's the guy, Seif? You know it maybe off the top of your head. I don't. The guy from San Diego, UC San Diego.
Josh Randall?
Yeah. No, is that his name? Michael.
He's at USD.
I'm thinking of UC San Diego. I thought there was a guy. But either way, if they haven't pitched, if they're all beat up down the stretch, you certainly would like to see them pitch a little bit more before you go plowing into it. Certainly with your first pick. Maybe you'd have a little bit more stomach for it in the comp or the second round. But your first pick, that's pretty tough to do, to hang your hat on.
You're speaking of Brian Forcucci, right?
Yes, that's who I was speaking of. Good one.
Sorry.
Yeah. It was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't think of it.